Hello dear Libras and welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. If this is your first time here, my name is Justina and I use Western Astrology Tropical Zodiac, and these predictions are most accurate for the rising sign. However, if you don't know your rising sign, you can also watch this for your sun sign or for your moon sign, so welcome. Now April ended with Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn in your 4th house on April 27th, where it will remain in this motion until October the 7th. So during this time, some of you may have to deal with some challenges from the past or from the childhood that come back into the surface during conversations or through memories. So this is a great opportunity for putting these memories, these bad memories, to rest. And especially if some of these issues are connected to you blaming yourself for other people's mistakes. There could also be some transformation that could occur in your life, in your inner life, in order for you to find more fulfillment and emotional inner safety. Now, the month begins with Mercury, the planet of communication, mind, siblings, short trips, moving into Gemini, into your 9th house on the 3rd of the month, where it will remain until the end of the month. So here with Mercury in your 9th house, there is this great desire to expand your knowledge. It's a really good time for self-expression, for communication, for interacting with people from different cultures, countries to yours, and you are generally very hungry for knowledge, especially since Mercury will conjoin with the North Node on the 10th of May, helping you to expand your horizons in some way, to become more open-minded, especially when it comes to different cultures, different traditions. On the 8th of the month, we've got Venus joining the party as well. And Venus will prompt you to seek more harmony and balance with people from different countries or cultures to yours, but also Venus might really give you this great desire for planning some faraway trips, some exotic trips. And if this isn't possible this year, then you might be making some plans for the future. For those of you who are single, Venus might attract a love relationship into your life with someone who comes from a faraway land, for instance. Now, on the 11th of the month, we've got a new moon in Taurus happening in your 8th house. A new moon is a time of new beginnings and opportunity for some improvements. This could be a very transformative new moon for you because the 8th house is the house of transformation. So you might transform your inner self in some way, perhaps let go of some outlived behavioral patterns, especially if they no longer align with your personality. You might also gain financially through any business partnerships or through joint resources. At the time of this new moon, we've got the moon separating from Saturn in Aquarius in your 5th house. So if you have been feeling restricted in your romantic life, in your creative life, or generally you are unable to enjoy your life in general, now this new moon will prompt you to implement some changes, to transform something so that you can find more fulfillment. Now we also have the moon applying to a square with Jupiter, which could give you more optimism, even over-optimism, helping you to grow something new. Jupiter will be in the final degrees of Aquarius at this time, so there could be this inner urge to act now. On the 13th of the month, we've got Jupiter moving into your 6th house, into Pisces, where it will remain until July 28th. So during this time, you can get a little taste or a little feel of what 2022 could bring for you on a personal level, because this is where Jupiter will remain in 2022, in your 6th house. So Jupiter is the planet of luck, abundance, good fortune, and during this time, you might receive some work opportunities, or you might expand your role within your existing work. Generally, this is an optimistic energy, positive time, and Jupiter here will also encourage you for doing some self-improvement. A self-improvement in a way that you would perhaps look more after your health, after your well-being. You might be interested in foreign cuisines. Since Jupiter is the planet of expansion, when it is transiting the 6th house of health and well-being, it might also stimulate growth of the body as a result of different dietary choices. Some of you might go for more fatty foods even unconsciously, and as a result of that, gained weight easier. So it's something to keep in mind, especially if you're weight conscious or health conscious. On the 20th of the month, you've got the Sun moving into Gemini, into your 9th house, joining Mercury, Venus, and the North Node. So here, from the 20th, you will have this really strong urge or desire to expand your horizons, to be more adventurous, more spontaneous, find more joy, fun in your life. You could be interacting more with people from different cultures or countries to yours, or other people could be more involved in international affairs, busier at your university or college, for instance. On the 23rd, we've got Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius, where it will stay in this motion until October 11th. So for you, this is the 5th house, the house of fun, creativity, joy, children. And with Saturn retrograde in your 5th house, you might get a strong urge to overcome any issues, any blockages, any challenges experienced in the creative side of your life. You could also get a feeling to do more in your life. You could get a greater calling as well at this time. So it could be quite interesting. On the 26th of the month, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in your 3rd house. And the 3rd house is the house of communication, short trips, siblings, your community, vehicles as well. So here, a lunar eclipse is 6 times stronger than a regular full moon. So it's a very powerful time, energetically speaking. And this full moon lunar eclipse is connected to the solar eclipse we had back in December 2020. So if you started something new around that time, now during this full moon lunar eclipse, you could see some outcomes, results of your efforts. However, otherwise, this full moon lunar eclipse could prompt you to change your neighborhood, to relocate. There could be some news about your siblings. You could be stimulated to take a short trip as well. But if we look at the transits of this lunar eclipse, we've got Jupiter at the very early degrees of Pisces, giving us more optimism, more positive outlook on life, a light at the end of the tunnel. This full moon lunar eclipse will separate from a square with Jupiter. So we might have to, or some of you might have to, put something on hold or temporarily let go of. However, we also have this full moon lunar eclipse applying to sextile Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn will be retrograde at this time. So here, if there is something that you started in the past, here retrograde, you will have an opportunity to return to. So this is an opportunity here with this alignment to return to some projects that you started in the past, but you had to put them on hold as a result of some external influences or perhaps lack of resources. Now during this full moon lunar eclipse, you might have an opportunity to return to these projects. However, because Saturn is involved, this will have to be done with great discipline, good planning, good organizational skills in order for you to see some really good results. This full moon lunar eclipse will also trine Chiron in Aries, so there's an opportunity for some healing as well. And the month ends with Mercury going retrograde in Gemini on the 29th of the month in your 9th house. So here with this retrograde, you might re-evaluating your life direction, your life purpose, your life path. You could be really brainstorming and your mind could be very stimulated, thinking, contemplating about your life purpose. It's a really good time for re-evaluating your life direction, your goals for the future. And obviously, as with every retrograde, make sure you back up all your files, all your data. There could be a friend who comes from a faraway land who could come back into your life during this time as well. And with this in mind, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I hope May is a good month for you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.